Welcome to the church, volume 2. Exclusive 213. Got my nephew Nate Dogg in the house. Nate Dogg, holla at him, where you at?
Riding in my car.
Introduction to CrossFit. In this video, we're going to cover the points of what CrossFit is, who can use it, who should use it, and how long, where, when, who, why, what. CrossFit, in its essence, constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity. CrossFit utilizes Olympic lifting, gymnastics, endurance or monostructural movements, functional movements, body-weighted movements, for anyone that's just trying to be generally prepared at everyday tasks. Why is CrossFit a preferred training method? 1, the versatility and the comprehension or vastness of what we do. 2, the group training style and element of it. With the kind of vast comprehension of what we're trying to achieve, we're trying to increase our endurance, increase our stamina, increase our flexibility, increase our mobility, increase our speed, power, all of these things, skill base. The workouts themselves are generally made to be unknown and unpreparable, so constantly varied would fall under the category of potentially doing a workout and never seeing that workout again. If you do repeat the workout, it's generally just to see and test how much better we got at that specific workout. Today, on a Monday, you might do a heavy back squat for 3 reps and a little conditioning piece of row 5 minutes at max effort, burpee 5 minutes at max effort. That could be your session. Tomorrow, it might look like perform 50 pull-ups. Once completed, do 3 rounds of 20 GHD sit-ups, and a 10-meter handstand walk, and it's very gymnastics dominant. The following day, on your Wednesday, it might be 4 times 1,000 meter run intervals, rest 4 minutes in between with a negative split, with the intention of you getting faster per set. So you're understanding how to utilize your body in a manner that can allow you to do that. You don't go out too hot where your paces fall off per round. All of these little nuances is just about training the scope of everything, just being in this really broad domain. And we call it concurrent training. So can we actually find the perfect mesh and blend of strength and gymnastics and running and whatever else, and pull it all together and still move those singular components out north and get better at squatting and get better at pull-ups and get better at running all at the same time? To add to that, the scalability and the accessibility. So, and a CrossFit workout, for example, I mean, don't overcomplicate it. So many times people might think that they need to have the perfect warm-up, the perfect situation, and go to the perfect place and then perform 30 clean and jerks, 30 ring muscle-ups, and 30 calories on the rower. Now, of course, that is a CrossFit workout, but a CrossFit workout can also be 10 stair climbs. It can be 3 rounds of 20 body-weighted squats and 10 sit-ups. It can be death by EMOM push-ups, 1 push-up first minute, 2 push-ups second minute, 3, 4, 5, so forth, until you get to a point where you fail. So it really does have accessibility, and the scalability is there. We take that last workout we just mentioned, death by push-up. For an elite level athlete, it might be a strict handstand push-up. If we scale that back down to a sedentary office worker who hasn't really done much fitness in their lives and 60 plus, it might be push-ups, decreased range of motion on a box or on a desk. Same type of output, same intention, same mechanics, and we have now connected the room together under the same umbrella. Is CrossFit safe? Now, I think that a huge misconception in CrossFit, and probably just in any general group fitness class gym now with barbells, is that it is very hard on the body, lots of injuries, but it's been proven that there are no injuries that are worse than any other training methodology, and definitely not that of high vigorous team sports with contact involved in. CrossFit should be performed at a level of intensity where you can still control your mechanics, control your movement patterns, and be aware of how your body is functioning in that space and time. And if you have a good understanding of that, if you have good coaching systems and they're teaching you good information, and then I would say some self-control, then absolutely you're going to stay within that threshold at all times. It's the moment where we as an individual kind of let the ego, for lack of a better term, take control, and we start lifting weights we maybe shouldn't do. Form breaks down, we get pushed into poor mechanics, we try and race a pace that maybe we shouldn't do in a workout for time, and now all of a sudden our form and technique is breaking down again. Once more, it's as safe as you move, and you should only really move as fast as you can move safely. So that's entirely upon the user. Yes, it's an environmental setting, you know, whether the coaching staff have really set the precedence and standard of movement, and then I guess just how well we've kind of taken that on board as the users or community. Who is CrossFit for? CrossFit prides itself on being now an elite level sport, but probably generally preparing everybody for anything. There is a stack of a pyramid, and at the top of our pyramid has sport. So we focus on weightlifting, nutrition, metabolic conditioning, skills or gymnastics, and then sport. So we use this training methodology to grow in all of these areas, and then we try and apply it back again to said sport. And it could be basketball, it could be lacrosse, it could be rugby, it could be gymnastics, it could be swimming, it could be netball, it could be whatever you could think of. But that's the whole general idea, is that we're not just good at one thing, we're kind of pushing the boat out on every area that's available to us. Now that's on the elite athlete spectrum, or even just a general sport goer. Like, you can go into the gym, and we just said earlier, move as fast as you can safely. It would apply to anybody, and you'd be able to use those tools to take back to your own original sports. Now, it is also able and capable for the sedentary person who's looking at either one, just getting a little bit more mobility, two, maybe we'll look at lowering cholesterol levels, starving off cardiovascular diseases, as its original ethos was. So again, those workouts differ by degree of difficulty, not by design. So the stimulus and intention of a workout might be 3 rounds, 400 meter run, and 20 burpees. And for this person, that's applicable, you know, time target sub 8 minutes. And to get that same type of threshold and constant pace pushing, down to this person, it might be 3 rounds, run 100 meters, 7 burpees. Same thing, next week we might be able to top up that another 3 burpees. The following week you might be able to keep the extra 3 burpees, add another 100 meters, until we kind of balance out. But the stimulus is kind of the king nucleus of the workout, or the intention, and we base our users based off of that. And so you can have your elite level athlete there who's pushing for this target and these movements and these rep schemes and this time demand, and then you can have your other users fit into that same mold, just with a regressive use of either time or reps, load, sets, to achieve that the desired stimulus of the workout. Individual versus group setting training. Group setting, in my personal opinion, has a huge ton of benefit. Just getting easy access to jump into a class is always helpful. You might have had a bad day, leave it at the door, get in the class, all of a sudden you're vibing off some energy. No one kind of likes to underperform when other people are around. Even if you are not feeling your best, you'll give your best effort. When we are by ourselves, often placebo can come in and attack that, and you know, with double negative. I feel bad, I start bad, it is bad, it's a bad session. That can kind of be overridden when you are in a group setting, and you hear it often. You hear someone kind of overachieving a workout. Maybe they got a PR on a lift, or they really pushed a good intensity in a workout, and they said, well, I don't know how I did that, I've had such a bad blah 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 blah. And often it can just come down to the environment. You know, environmental situation is very, very important. Now, if you're an individual and you have individual coaching, then that means that every rep is kind of written for you. Each rep has a specific intention. We're trying to gain certain nuances that are more specific to our movement patterns or our needs as a CrossFit athlete, or even as a CrossFit user using the prescription or training methodology to use it for whatever else I have going on in my sporting career, or for my desired outcome of performance goal. And then if you are an individual who can train by themselves, and or you've done the group setting stuff, it's not an issue. You're going to give the same effort and output whether you're by yourself within a room of 25,000 people. That doesn't really matter. And you are laser focused on a specific desired outcome, then I would definitely recommend an individual based training system. But every so often, still get yourself tapped into the community side of things, and just get some energy, be a part of that, be a contributor to that, and just don't ever forget what it feels like to do it in its true ethos. How should CrossFit be done? Foundational movements: squat, hinge, pull, press, close hinge, open hinge, all of these things, on the surface level. And it might be on a singular workout, you might do multiple pathways of those. It might be a thruster, which covers many of those things. You do get a squat and an open close hinge mechanic with the hip crease, and then a press for the barbell overhead. It might be burpees over the bar. But CrossFit can be done anywhere, anytime, and with anything. Obscure objects, you don't really need much. You can go out and grab a big log from outside, carry it for 400 meters. If it's super light, we'll carry it for a mile. All of these things, it's just so vast in what you can actually use CrossFit for. How to navigate your singular session of CrossFit: always start with the warm-up. Always really spend good time on a warm-up. Now let's say I'm time poor, 40 minutes is my time threshold today, and I wanted to get 2 great training pieces done, and it kind of reduces my warm-up time. Well, then perhaps we need to look at taking out one of those great training pieces and keeping our great warm-up, and just getting quality out of the work that we can do, and doing that really, really well. That's going to set you up for longevity and for success of the piece that you're actually trying to do. Why not do one piece great versus 2 piece rubbish and risk a potential injury because you haven't got yourself to race pace level? Again, ideally a session would look like a really thorough warm-up. It could be anywhere, depending on what your training goals are focused on. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't stay so streamlined either, in terms of like it has to be a lift, and then it has to be a workout, and the lift has to be 10 minutes, and my workout has to be between 8 and 12 minutes, and then that's it. Well, every day can change. You might just do a 40-minute conditioning piece, and there is no strength piece. Or you might do an hour worth of strength, and it's only strength, there's no conditioning. It really depends on what the focuses are, but I think that the mainstay is warming up really, really well, doing said work in the middle, whether that's strength, metcon, or skill, strength, skill, conditioning only, strength only, whatever you name it, and then some sort of regressive work at the end, whether you're slowing down the brain to muscle connection. It might be an isolation exercise, it might be a flush bike or walk around the block or something like that, but then there's just always that little chance or window at the end just to kind of finish it off from that high intensity bout that you might have just gone through. The maximal benefits of CrossFit. The physical benefits, I think they speak for themselves. Generally, you start focusing on your performance markers, your body's going to take shape as well. It's going to shape up to perform how those markers should look like. You're going to gain muscle mass, you're probably going to trim a bit of body fat, and you might not look so bad to the eye either. Mental and emotional benefits, just doing tough things. In the year of 2024-25, it's so easy to live life on our phones and devices now. I can sit on my couch and get food ordered to my couch, and I don't even have to lift a finger. I think it's important to put ourselves into difficult situations daily, just to build some continual resilience and adversity to face hard tasks that might arise and put ourselves in those situations. So that's more of a mental toughness barrier that you can overcome. Stress relief, see it a million times. People come in, bad day or angst up energy, they get through a workout and then all the endorphins are flowing and they feel like a new sense of calm. And finally, to add to that, just a sense of accomplishment. No one ever regrets a workout that they achieve really, really well. You finish the workout, it's like climbing a mountain. You get to the peak or the summit. During the workout, often you're like, "Oh, this sucks," and then you finish and you think the same workout where you thought it sucked. I can't wait to do that all over again. And that's just that sense of accomplishment. Considerations before starting CrossFit. So I hear for the last dozen years, "Oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, that's a bit hard out. Oh, I need to go to the gym to get fit before I even start." Or you just immediately put yourself out of consideration to be able to do it. Reality is, all of those people who are in the same boat then would start CrossFit and then end up saying things like, "Oh, I wish I just started earlier." It's not the place where you have to go and get fit in your own time and figure things out for yourself and then go and find CrossFit. Start at CrossFit. Your coaches will lead you from path 1 to path 10 and further beyond. It's the starting and finishing point. It covers everything, and you can enter at any single time. There is no better place to start than today. Just start today. Go to a well-esteemed gym in your area that are teaching it, and the coaches will be very good, and they'll be able to support you along your journey. So those are the things I would say to consider. Health limitations, injury limitations. Look, if you've been diagnosed with like rest bedtime, then cool. Maybe get through that period of time until you're able to be active. But just remember, when you look at CrossFit from an outside lens, often we just look at ring muscle ups, maximal heavy lifts, and we think it's not for us, I can't do that. And we forget that all the regressive steps to get there, a ring row, an empty dowel rod or a broomstick, and those are the starting points. And every great athlete had a day one. Every great athlete at some point had Bambi legs, couldn't really coordinate themselves. At whatever time and age that was for them, might be different. But just remember that, and I think that it's just a nice line of focus to say, hey, what? Just start. So in conclusion, is CrossFit right for you? Well, yes. In my opinion, CrossFit is for everybody. It is a place where you start, you can continue in the middle, and you can finish strong there as well. You build a great community around that and become a part of a great community, and it's even better. You can definitely spend your time in worse places. I recommend that you go out into your local gyms, find some good coaching, find a community that you can really just mesh well with. You like the people, you like the energy, you like the vibe, and it's different for everybody. And most of all, don't knock it before you try it. That's the biggest thing. My biggest recommendation is, what is CrossFit? What should I do and how do I do it? Book yourself in a class, go for a week, and you'll find out the true benefits from it.